What if your body whispered a warning you couldn't ignore? Imagine this. You're sitting at the kitchen table, sunlight streaming through the window, a warm mug of coffee in your hand, when suddenly something shifts. Maybe your words tangle mid-sentence, or a strange tightness grips your chest. It's subtle, fleeting, almost dismissible, yet deep down, a quiet voice nudges you. This isn't right. This isn't. Our bodies are like old friends, always chatting away, sending signals through every ache, flutter, or falter. Most of the time, it's just small talk, hunger, tiredness, a twinge from yesterday's walk. But every now and then, they scream, or worse, whisper, something urgent, something that could mean the difference between a quick fix and a life-altering tragedy. Today, I want to walk you through 7 physical symptoms that you should never, ever brush off. These aren't vague hints or minor gripes. They're bold, flashing red flags that doctors say demand immediate hospital care. No second guessing, no waiting for tomorrow. This isn't about fear. It's about giving you the tools to take charge, to listen when your body begs you to act. Too many folks, especially those of us with a few more years under our belts, let these signs slide thinking, oh, it's nothing, or I don't want to make a fuss. But here's the truth. Spotting these warnings early can turn a looming crisis into a story with a happy ending. So grab a seat, maybe a cup of tea, and let's dive in. Because one of these signs might just save your life or the life of someone you hold dear. Sign 1. When words slip and faces shift. Picture yourself laughing over breakfast with your grandkids. The smell of pancakes filling the air, when suddenly your tongue feels thick, your words tumbling out like marbles, slurred, garbled, not quite yours. Or maybe you catch your reflection in the toaster, and one side of your smile sags, refusing to lift. These aren't quirks to shrug off with a chuckle. They're sirens blaring that your brain might be in peril. A stroke, to be exact. Doctors have a shorthand for this: fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech trouble, and time. Oh, time is everything. If one arm drifts when you raise it, or if your voice sounds like it's underwater, don't wait to see if it passes. Every minute a stroke rages unchecked, you lose nearly 2 million brain cells. Bits of memory, movement, the ability to hug your loved ones tight. For folks over 70, strokes can sneak up without fanfare. Take James, a 70-year-old retired mechanic with a knack for fixing anything: cars, radios, even his granddaughter's broken dolls. One crisp fall morning, he was tinkering in his garage, the tang of motor oil in the air, when his wrench slipped from his right hand. He tried to call out to his wife, Sarah, but his words came out jumbled, like a radio stuck between stations. Sarah rushed in, saw his lopsided grin, and didn't hesitate. She dialed 911. Within an hour, James was in the ER, getting clot-busting drugs that saved his speech and strength. If she'd waited, he told me later, his voice steady again, I might have lost everything. My workshop, my stories, me. Strokes don't care if you're having a good day or a quiet one. They strike like lightning. Maybe you're flipping through a magazine, the rustle of pages soft in your ears, or sipping soup when your spoon trembles for no reason. These moments feel odd, not terrifying, and that's the trap. The brain's SOS can be subtle, but it's urgent. James's neighbor, Tom, wasn't so lucky. He ignored a drooping eyelid one evening, chalking it up to fatigue. By morning, he couldn't walk. Don't let that be you. If your face twists, your words falter, or your arm betrays you, call for help. Time isn't just ticking, it's slipping away. Sign 2. A chest that squeezes too tight. Now imagine you're curled up with a good book, the pages crinkling under your fingers, when a strange pressure blooms in your chest. It's not sharp, not Hollywood dramatic, just a heavy, squeezing ache, like someone's sitting on your ribs. It might creep into your shoulders, coil around your jaw, or burn faintly down your arm. You think heartburn? Stress? But here's the kicker. This could be your heart begging for help, whispering or shouting about a heart attack. For older adults, the signs aren't always the chest-clutching collapse you see in movies. Sometimes it's quieter, a dull throb, a flutter, a sudden wave of exhaustion that hits even when you're still. Take Margaret, a 76-year-old widow who loved her garden, the earthy scent of soil, her daily comfort. One sunny afternoon, as she turned the pages of a seed catalogue, a tight band wrapped around her chest. She brushed it off. Maybe it's that spicy chili from lunch, but the feeling lingered, joined by a faint sweat and a dizzy spell. Her son, Daniel, popped by, saw her pale face, and insisted on the ER. Good thing he did. Margaret had a mild heart attack, caught just in time. "I thought hearts screamed when they broke," she said later, her voice soft with wonder. "Mine just whispered." Cardiologists say it all the time. Too many wait, blaming indigestion or age when every second counts. Margaret's sister, Clara, learned that the hard way. She ignored a nagging ache for days, thinking it'd fade. It didn't. She barely survived. If your chest feels off, tight, heavy, strange, and it won't let go, especially with dizziness or shortness of breath, don't guess. Get to the hospital. Your heart's too precious to gamble with, and those quiet pleas might be its last. Sign 3. Breath that vanishes without warning. Ever sat still, maybe watching the rain tap against the window, the soft patter soothing your mind, only to realize you're gasping for air? Not after a jog or a climb, just sitting there, lungs clawing for oxygen. That's not normal. Sudden shortness of breath, untied to effort. Is your body waving a frantic flag? Could be heart failure, a lung clot, or pneumonia creeping in. For folks in their golden years, this is a siren you can't mute. Our lungs weaken with age, sure, but when breathing turns hard out of nowhere, it's not just getting older, it's trouble. Consider Harold, a 78-year-old former carpenter with hands rough as sandpaper from decades of work. One evening, sprawled in his favorite armchair, the hum of the TV in the background, he felt like he'd run a mile. No pain, no cough, just an empty, desperate pull for air. His daughter, Lucy, found him pale, chest heaving, and raced him to the ER. A tiny clot had lodged in his lung, a pulmonary embolism. "I thought I was just winded," Harold rasped later, his woodsy laugh returning after treatment. "If Lucy hadn't pushed, I'd be a goner." Contrast that with his old buddy Pete, who dismissed a similar breathless night as old lungs acting up. By dawn, he was unconscious, too late to fix. When your breath flees without cause, sitting, resting, even sleeping, don't wait. The air's too sweet, and your loved ones need your voice too much to risk it. Sign 4. A mind that suddenly fogs. Picture this. You're chatting with a friend, the clink of teacups brightening the room, when your thoughts scatter like leaves in the wind. Names slip away. The room feels foreign. Your words don't fit together. For seniors, sudden confusion isn't just a senior moment. It's a neon sign flashing danger, stroke, infection, low oxygen, a medication gone rogue. The brain's a delicate thing, and when it glitches fast, you've got to move faster. Take Esther, an 82-year-old painter with a studio full of canvases, their colors vivid as her spirit. One morning, she stood in her hallway, brush in hand, unsure why she was there or what day it was. Her neighbor, Grace, found her mumbling about a lost cat she'd never owned. Grace didn't wait. She called Esther's son, who got her to the hospital. A raging urinary infection had sparked delirium, mimicking dementia, but fixable with antibiotics. "I thought I was losing my mind," Esther laughed later, her easel busy again. "Turns out, it was just my body playing tricks." Then there's her cousin, Martin, who brushed off a foggy day as exhaustion. By nightfall, a stroke had stolen his words. Sudden confusion, forgetting the familiar, wandering lost in your own home, demands action. It's not quirky, it's critical. Call for help, because your mind's too brilliant to let slip. Sign 5. A belly that screams. We've all had tummy troubles, too much pie, a sour apple, but imagine a pain that hits like a thunderclap, sharp and deep in your gut, doubling you over as you stir soup on the stove. When abdominal pain turns fierce, sudden, or relentless, it's not a wait-and-see game. Appendicitis, a torn intestine, a bleeding ulcer. These culprits don't mess around, especially in older bodies where signs can blur. Take Leonard, a 74-year-old fisherman who loved the creak of his boat and the salt on the breeze. One night, after a simple supper of chowder, a stabbing pain gripped his lower belly. He popped antacids, figuring it'd pass. Rugged guys like him didn't fuss. By morning, he was gray, weak, crumpled on the couch. His daughter Nora called an ambulance. Surgeons found a twisted bowel, cutting off its own blood. "I thought I could tough it out," Leonard grinned later, mending nets again. "Nearly toughened myself into a coffin." His old pal, Sam, wasn't so fortunate. Ignored a similar pang, and a ruptured appendix took him. If your stomach roars with pain, sharp, spreading, paired with nausea or fever, don't tough it out. Get to the ER. Your gut's too wise to ignore. Sign 6, when vomit won't stop, or turns dark. A sour stomach's one thing. Maybe last night's tacos didn't sit right, but when vomiting drags on for hours, or you spot blood, bright red or coffee dark, it's no longer a nuisance. It's a 911 call. Persistent puking dehydrates you fast, and blood means something's torn. Stomach, esophagus, an ulcer gone wild. For seniors, meds like ibuprofen can silently carve up your insides. Take Beatrice, an 81-year-old quilter with nimble fingers and a laugh like bells. After dinner, she started vomiting, blamed the fish, but then saw dark flecks in the sink. Her grandson Theo didn't hesitate. At the hospital, they found a bleeding ulcer from years of arthritis pills. "I thought it was just a bad meal," she said, stitching again soon after. "Theo saved me." Her friend, Ruth, waited out a bloody bout. Thought it'd settle. It didn't. She nearly bled out. If vomit keeps coming or looks wrong, don't sip tea and hope. Go. Your body's leaking where it shouldn't, and time's the tourniquet. Sign 7. Fever, stiff neck, and blinding light. Fevers come and go. A sniffle, a bug, but pair a high one with a neck so stiff you can't nod. And lights that stab your eyes, and you've got meningitis knocking. This brain and spine inflammation strikes fast, deadly if ignored, and yes, it hits older folks too, especially if immunity's low. Take Victor, a 77-year-old crossword king, his pencils scratching daily grids. One morning, a headache throbbed, his neck locked up, and the lamp's glow felt like needles. His neighbor, Ellen, a retired nurse, saw the signs and sped him to the ER. Bacterial meningitis, caught early, beaten back. "I thought I was just tired," Victor mused, puzzle in hand again. Ellen knew better. His brother Paul dismissed a feverish night. By dawn, he was gone. If fever climbs with neck pain and light sensitivity, don't wait. Your brain's under siege, and every hour counts. Sign 8, a silent plea you can't name. Sometimes your body doesn't fit the checklist. It just feels wrong. A chill that won't shake, a weakness that creeps in, an unshakable sense that something's off. For Dorothy, a 72-year-old baker whose kitchen smelled of cinnamon and love, it was a gut hunch. One spring day, kneading dough, she felt a cold sweat, a heaviness she couldn't place. No chest pain, no breathlessness, just wrongness. Her friend, Iris, saw her sway and drove her straight to the hospital. A silent heart rhythm glitch, fixed with a pacemaker. "I didn't have the big signs," Dorothy said, rolling dough again. "But my body knew." Her Uncle George ignored that same unease, collapsed a day later. When your instincts scream, even faintly, listen. It's your oldest friend talking, and it's rarely wrong. Final thoughts. Your body, your guardian. By now, you're probably feeling the weight and the wonder of these signals. These 8 signs aren't here to scare you. They're lanterns lighting your path, handed to you because you're worth protecting. We older folks tend to downplay, to wait, to spare others the bother. But every story here, from James to Dorothy, sings the same tune. Acting fast turns whispers into victories. Your health's a treasure, not just for you, but for the faces around your table, the hands that reach for yours. So next time your body murmurs, don't hush it, answer it. Share below. What's one signal you'll never ignore now? Your voice fuels this journey, and I can't wait to hear it.